Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just here to take you through the kind of thought process around the necklace problem. You can see here this list of numbers that I have listed is the example from the assignment. So it's the completed necklace. The reason you know that it's completed is that this 1 and this 8 here matches the 1 and an 8 at the end. So that's how you know the necklace problem has finished or that the chain has completed out, and that's because the 1 and the 8 match the 1 and the 8 at the end. So the idea behind the necklace problem is that you are adding up two numbers and then taking the ones digit of the sum of the two numbers. So for example here, if we're looking at these first two digits right at the start here, we add the two of them together. Okay, so these two get added together, and then the sum of those two digits, the ones column, becomes the next value. Okay, so you can see here, just to show you the simple math, you've got 1 plus 8. We know it equals 9. We take the ones digit, and the ones digit's already only there because there's only one digit here. So it becomes 9, so our next value becomes 9. The same thing would then happen again with the next set of numbers. So now we have 8 and 9. We add these two numbers together, 8 plus 9. And again, if we show you the simple math, we get 8 plus 9, which equals 17. And then keeping in mind that we only want that 7 digit, so that becomes the next digit. Just to take that again one further, that's how we do 9 plus 7. So 9 plus 7 equals 16. We want that second digit, and we end up with the 6, and that's the one that we want. Okay, so to go through some of the thinking that might be required to this, I'm going to use kind of a variable trace to look at how you might go through the loop. We got to remember this is the looping unit. So the idea is that this is going to be solved through some sort of looping process. So if you look at this equation, we can look at actually three things. So I keep track of those with three variables. The first variable is the next variable, and the next variable is the variable that's going to be the one that's next in line. So what is the next value that we're going to be reporting? Then we want to have a value that is the current number, and that's kind of the current space that we're on. And then we're going to have another one called previous. I'm just going to use the short form previous. Okay, so we've got next, current, and previous. So basically, those are the values in reverse order when you're looking at the necklace. Okay, and I just want to show you how this might play out if we were looking at the necklace problem and looking through this example here. So previous is current. We better look at current first. So current is going to be the number 8. Okay, so that's the one that we want to look at, and we're going to focus around that current value, which is that value. The previous value is going to be obviously the value that is to the left of that, which is 1 in this case. And then next is going to be that next number in the sequence. So what is the number that comes next in the sequence? Okay. So, and we know that we do that by adding the two previous numbers. So current and previous need to get added together, and then we're only taking the ones digit. Okay, so next basically equals current plus previous. Now, not quite, but so we can actually write that down as kind of some pseudocode, right? So next is equal to current, okay, plus previous. Now, something else has to be done to this equation, but we'll look at what that is in a minute. So current plus previous get added together, and they become the next number. And to look at what actually does have to be done here, and the step that we're missing here is that we'll find that out when we move on to the next number. So let's look at the next number. So now we're going to be looking at this series of three numbers here, or this series of three. We're going to try and establish this next 7. And it's pretty straightforward. We're looking at 8 plus 9 equals 17, and we're taking the ones digit. Okay, so what we need to do though is figure out how in the loop we're going to be moving digits, moving over one digit every single time so that we know that we're adding. And we do that simply by assigning these values to each other. So we know that current is now going to become previous, right? So this 8 is no longer the middle number. It's now going to be the number that is the previous number. So current has to become previous. The other thing we also know is that now this new number 9 that we calculated out is now our current number. So next now needs to become current. Okay, so if we do that, 8, we make previous equal to 8, so it's no longer this, it's now 8. This is no longer this is now 9. And now we just go back and we repeat this equation in order to calculate our next version of next. Okay, so we know that 9 plus 8, if we add these two together, 9 plus 8 is 17, right? But we only take the ones digit, right? So we know that the next value is 17, or is 7, sorry. The thing that we're missing, and we can tell by the evaluation that we come with here, if you end up with 17, remember we're only taking the ones digit. Well, the best way to only get the ones digit of something, especially a two-digit number, is just to mod by 10. So if we take this number 17 and we mod it by 10, we end up with we end up with 7, right? So if we do a 17 mod 10, the answer is 7 because it's the remainder. Remember that the mod is the remainder of a division. So 17 divided by 10 is 1 with 7 remainder, with 7 left over. Okay, so 7 is our number, and that's what happens. So this equation up here, in the end, just needs to be modded by 7. So this, if we were to look at this, I'm just going to draw it down over here. So really, next equals current plus previous mod 10. Okay, so you're going to have that whole thing that's going to need to be there. Okay, so then we can do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to move forward to these three digits. And again, it's just a matter of shifting everything over. So the 9 now becomes the previous. So this becomes 9. Our 7 now becomes our current value. And then we do 9 plus 7, which is equal to 16. And we mod it by 10 so that we only end up with 6. Okay, and hopefully you can see now how this process would just continue to happen over and over and over again until again these last two numbers match the first two numbers. So you can actually kind of see now how your loop, the while part of your loop might end, right? And so we want to make sure that everything matches, that the last two digits match the first two digits. So this keeps happening. You keep adding the current to the previous and making that the next number. Keep doing that over and over and over again until you end up with a match for both the current and the previous number. Okay, so hopefully that helps. I'll talk to you again soon. I'm going to be helping you with the dice rolls assignment. I have to show you how to do a couple of things for that because we haven't looked at a couple concepts there. But as always, if you have any questions, please just send me an email if it's not something that's urgent. Or if you do need some more specific hands-on help, I can always meet up with you with Google Meet or whatever options we have available to us just to meet up and try and figure out some things and help you through some of the problems. Okay, so yeah, that's it for now, and hopefully this helps you through the necklace problem.